Good evening, folks. What's going on? What's up, Mizray? What's up, Satellite? Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday again. Do I make the obvious joke? Do I say the same thing that I always do on these double up days? Yeah, I do. Wow, I feel like I was just here. Because it was, what, like 7 hours ago, I guess. What's up, Loader High? Good to see you. Well, it's been a lovely day. I did some chores around the house. I took a little nap on the sofa. Had me a French bread pizza for dinner. I mean, pretty ideal laid-back day, if we can be honest here. What's up, Boot Blacking? Good to see you. Stupor Nintendo. That's what it's gonna feel like tonight. Cause oh boy, I'm gonna tell you right now. We're on like page 40. What? 42. We're on page 42 of the magazine. Non-zero chance we just finished the magazine today. The stuff we've got to look at tonight is specious at best. There's maybe one thing that y'all might want to spend some time on, which of course we can. We can spend time on whatever you want, but bad enough that you'd accept a Brandish request. I could do like maybe 3 minutes of Brandish before I start to feel nauseous. If y'all need a refresher on how deeply disorienting this game is. The Epic Center is coming up, yes. So we have that to look forward to at least. Outside of that though, man, it is it's wasteland. Brandish makes I feel barfish. Yeah, save that for the return of Mohawk and Headphone Jack. Yeah, that one's... I'm gonna have to steel myself for that. I probably should have just skipped dinner in that case. I had a huge lunch. I was really hungry after my 5.5-hour Satisfactory stream today. So I made chicken fajitas last night. I had a lot of chicken fajita left over today. I ate it all. It was amazing. It was so good. So, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and you are more than welcome to be honest with me. I like to think we're very open here about our feelings and our preferences. Satisfactory might be my favorite game of all time. I am attached to that game in a way that I'm not sure I've ever been attached to any other game. I seriously thought about playing it more after I stopped streaming it today. I'm perfectly willing to acknowledge that it's not a lot of folks' favorite thing to watch on this channel. I wouldn't even necessarily say I'm a particularly good streamer of it. There are other content creators out there that I'm pretty sure can make it more interesting than I do, but my God, I love playing it so much. I love it so much. Games are all about making something to me. And that, you know, that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. I feel like with narrative heavy games, what you're making is essentially an unraveling of the story. You're laying the story bare in a way that isn't immediately apparent when you start the game. On the most basic level, what you're making there is progress, measurable progress. But you know, in an RPG, you are cultivating a team. You are growing characters. Obviously, I've always had a preference for building and simulation games and now automation games, because you are making stuff in a very literal sense. You're designing and growing a city, or a hospital, or a theme park, or a factory, or so many other things, and it is it is my favorite thing to do in games. I know that now. I like a lot of different games, you know. I love playing RPGs and ARPGs and platformers and puzzle games and stuff, but it's the purest expressions of creativity and construction that I enjoy the most. It's the building games I love the most. Before I got back into Satisfactory, I think I did literally say that Timberborn was my favorite game ever. And I think now I need to admit it's probably my second favorite. Or maybe it goes back and forth just depending on what mood I'm in. But yeah, Satisfactory. Satisfactory has this clause in me like no other game in my life has. And part of that is realizing I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at making the things I want to make. I'm getting better at making buildings that look like buildings and not just like messes of foundations and conveyor belts. I remember it was Invisible Ink. It was Invisible Ink for a long time. Really, it was like, I think in the past year, I've had to acknowledge that my favorite game of all time can't be one that I haven't bothered to revisit in literal years, you know? I never go more than a couple months without playing Timberborn. And I had been holding myself back from playing Satisfactory because on some level I knew it was going to be like this. I don't play anything else now. It used to be like when I was streaming something like Aisha or Fallout or something, I would stream that, and then off stream I would play different things. I'd play my building sims, or I'd play my puzzle games or whatever. Now, I stream Satisfactory, and when I'm done streaming Satisfactory, I play Satisfactory. This means something, okay? There's some subtle symbolism here that I think we can read into. See, video games for me are about being constantly rewarded for going forward and making everything die. That's the neat part. I did that too. If you go watch the last hour of my Satisfactory VOD from today, it was literally that. Widespread murder of planetary fauna for fun and profit. What's up, Shadows? Good to see you tonight. Mean to play more of the PSP version of Brandish because the port is actually pretty enjoyable from what little you tried. The turning is a lot more smooth. I don't know if I can handle any game that's set up that way. I don't know if I can really handle any game where the whole viewport rotates, especially now. I am gradually getting more and more sensitive to that as I get older. There are fewer, like, I'm not super limited in it yet. Like, I'm gonna do... There's a bunch of first-person shooters I still intend to stream someday. I want to do Serious Sam games. I want to do Talos Principle. I know it's not really a first-person shooter. It's a first-person puzzler, but it goes hand-in-hand with Serious Sam. I want to revisit the original Half-Life. I want to revisit Deus Ex. I want to play Tron 2.0 for all y'all who have never experienced it. I'm pretty sure all those games will be fine, but I have noticed some of them with narrower fields of vision or more cramped confines. My motion sickness is catching up to me on those. And I think stuff like Brandish, I may have been able to handle this when I was younger. I absolutely 100% cannot now. It will make me hurl. Curious Contra 3's top-down levels. They don't, because it's much like... you have much more granular control over them. Like you are controlling it increment by increment as opposed to tapping a button and the whole view screen rotates 90 degrees. Post Void is the game for you. What's up, Ball of Work? Good to see you tonight. Not a blobber in top down. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Anyway, if we are to have any hope of finishing the magazine tonight, or at least making significant progress, we should get to it. So, quick schedule reminder. Tomorrow night is nothing There are no streams tomorrow. I got things to do during the day. I will be working in the evening. I will be streaming Saturday and Sunday mornings. I will be back with more Satisfactory then. Saturday morning, if for anyone who missed Satisfactory, you finished phase 3. There's 2 phases left to complete the game, and I am fairly intent on going through them a lot faster than I did phase 3, because phase 3 was the big, like, main base build out. I don't need to do that anymore because the base is built out. I just need to build the new stuff. Saturday is going to be aluminum. I'm going to be setting up the aluminum production chains. Probably going to go out of my way to blueprint them tomorrow when I have free time. Maybe even tonight after stream. So that I can just swoop in and slap everything down and hook it together and get the trucks going and have aluminum and move on to the next milestones. Talos Principle Reawakened is the original game, the DLC, and new DLC expansion I haven't played yet, but looks cool. So if y'all didn't see, we did talk about it a bit last night, but some folks might have missed it. I did post in the Next Game channel in our Discord. I treated myself to a few new games right at the end of the summer sale. I did get Talos Principle Reawakened. I also got Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I also caved on the Blueprints Animal Well pack because I do really want to play both of those games. And who knows, I might jump directly into one of those after Satisfactory. We'll just have to see. And I also picked up Lobotomy Corporation specifically because Lobotomy Corporation was a Democratic playthrough request while I was still doing evening streams, and I want to have it available for the inevitable return of Democratic playthroughs so that the person that requested it can have their request if they want. Plus, it looks cool. Blueprints the next 3 years of streaming. My Satisfactory playthrough is at 100 hours. Can it actually be worse than that? Kind of on the verge of doing a big how do you say it? Klonoa binge. I recently played Stanley Parable for a minute just to start the timer on Don't Play Stanley Parable for 10 years achievement. Now to wait. You got to nearly 200 in your play. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. Lobotomy Corp looks amazing. I don't think I can ever bring myself to play it. What's up, PM Collector Boy? Super Nintendo. What Genesis isn't? Klonoa. Okay. Klonoa. Grateful for the Something Awful screenshot LP. Well, if and when we do Blueprints, we'll talk about how far to go in that. Because, I mean, there's a lot of puzzle games out there like that. You know, way back in the early days of Democratic playthroughs, I started with Space Chem, which was a lot of fun. And I think we all kind of burned out on maybe like halfway through. Two-thirds of the way through, because it was a big brain burn. I imagine most Zachtronic games would be like that, or if I ever took a serious swing at something like Steven's Sausage Roll. I like to think if I actually streamed Baba Is You, I would finish it, but am I really that clever, chat? That and the day before you go to work sounds so funny. Except Justin Bread. Out of the whole era of more plot-driven, story-heavy mascot platforms, I feel like Klonoa was one of the absolute best. I would say you should go for Room 46 on stream and then tap out at some point. What's up, Manic? No, I guess you're right. Genesis, Nintendo, isn't it? Okay. All right. We need to get into the magazine before I start smelling toast. Welcome back to June 1996. Nintendo Power is so desperate for the N64 that they're just directing everybody's eyeballs in that direction. The rest of the magazine, we'll see. Steven Sausage Roll is an unaired episode of Steven Universe. Steven's sausage roll is a fan recreation of Steven Universe that you can't show in Plate Company. Got a fair bit of the way through Baba Is You. The later levels kick my... Baba Is You got really hard. Got really, 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 really hard. I got, I think, a long way into it. I don't even remember how far I got into it. I haven't played it since it came out. That was a game where I'd have to take weeks. I'd have to take breaks from it for weeks to let my brain recover and come back with like an entirely new perspective. And I never did actually finish it, I think. I don't know. Anyway, classified information. I will never get used to this stupid, like, faux circuit board aesthetic they have going, but, I mean, we never spend a whole lot of time here anyway. Oh. Let's see what they got, and let's get going. It's ugly as shit, yeah. Very, very weird to you that Konami of both International Superstar Soccer and Pro Evolution Soccer can never figure out what the big difference, vibe-wise, between them is. Did they actually run concurrently? Did one give... Oh, International Superstar was just a weird early localization name. Okay. That explains it. So it's all the same thing, just strange localization. Alright, so in that, there's a code, to get the team mascot out and running around. Judge Dredd on the Game Boy has a stage select, which won't do anything to save that game from being a miserable piece of shit. Dry Docks is going to be on every single N64 playlist. It absolutely is. 100%. There is no escaping it whatsoever. Free Warp Spell and Brandish, who cares? I can't play that game, it makes me nauseous. Just about the only mascot series still missing from the modern era is Sly Cooper now. Who owns that? Who has Sly Cooper? So, okay. Well. Sony owns Ape Escape too. If they need to put out some more games to steal back from people in a few years, they can always dip into that particular well. Select opponent practice mode for KI. Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize you were always facing Fulgore by default in practice mode. Rookies and strange people in NBA Live. Turns out there are a lot more secret players in NBA Live 96 than we were originally led to believe. Rookies and few odd players. Allen, Banks, B-Bear. Best? Well, I think we know who wins this lineup. Hoiberg. Tarlac is an interesting name. Chow, Daddio, Air Dick, Ice, McKibben, Rammer, Thirsty. Okay. All right. Tag yourselves, chat. One of the many series Sony killed in the name of, well, a lot of stupid shit. It's two things we need to escape to get a game these days. I mean, they just go somewhere else to die. Not to be a Debbie Downer, chat, about the rancid, rotting carcass of the game industry right now, but one of the reasons we roll around so much in the nostalgia pit and indie games is because there is just nothing to look forward to outside of it. Nothing. Also, good evening, Nagartep. Good to see you. Looking up what the fuck they mean by strange people and found a Usenet post Nintendo Power plagiarizer. Of course they did. Boss only password for Panic Bomber, but who cares because it's on the Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy is dead. Long live the Virtual Boy. Special teams in... I can't even read that. Quarterback Club. Like Cutter Sack? What? Cuttlefish? Endurance game and Aero Fighters? Oh, like a boss rush kind of thing. Invincibility and Rise of the Robots, probably the only way you get anybody to play that piece of shit. Yeah, that's what it says. That's what it says. Wait, what? Breath of Fire has Chun-Li in it? It seems that after various Street Fighter adventures, Chun-Li decided to retire to the town of Bleak, but she doesn't let her martial skills erode away. If you'd like to see her, visit Bleak at night. Talk to the magician who tells you to put money on the table. Put money on the table, answer no to his first 2 questions, and answer yes to the third. Chun-Li will demonstrate her patented lightning kick. Huh. I bet when one of my War Masters bit the dust and starport Germany warlords who used the spaceport to rebuild the hero ship. They come back. Nice. What do you mean nothing to look forward to? You're unexcited that Obsidian got all their projects summarily canceled so they could work on Fallout? If I may indulge in a bit of navel gazing for a moment here, chat. Even when I wasn't really actively looking for other games in the game industry, which was for a significant amount of my time in it, I would occasionally send applications to Obsidian because that was the company I always wanted to work for. I always wanted to end up at Obsidian eventually. I mean, obviously as a writer, but as time went on, I would have been satisfied doing anything there, really. That was just like, to me, it was the company that was living the dream, like making the games they really wanted to make, like actually accomplishing things with interactive narratives and pushing the boundaries of creativity. I always thought if I could make it to Obsidian, I will have made it. I will have achieved my dream in the game industry. And I can't tell you what a sobering realization it was that if I had actually achieved that goal at any point in the last 5 or 10 years, I'd be unemployed right now. So. Barring and just bolt out of the blue miracle, I'm done with the game industry. Not by choice. There's just nothing for me to do anymore. There's no way back in and nothing for me to do. Okay. Mascot platformers in general also have to inexplicably extra prove themselves. Crash Insane, Crash 4 did insane numbers of 4 alone, outselling even stuff like Sonic Frontiers. Activision responded with attempting to murder Toys for Bob, taking years and years to be allowed to do a Spyro game. Magician and Bleak has a lot of goofy Easter egg stuff. Bleak is like the Final Fantasy... Oh, it's like Zozo and Final Fantasy VI? Okay. Assassin's Creed 4 Resync is slowly clawing its way up from an initial wave of negativity. Resync looks legit good. Another 3 people like 4's original modern day plot, seeing it missing is a damn shame. Yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed pivoted away from that a long time ago. But... you know, this talk about mascot platformers and how hard it is for them to get made. I think a big part of that is just the people who run the game industry now are not, they're not game developers. They don't make games and they don't play games. They're business people. Like when the game industry proved just how lucrative it could be, that it wasn't just a niche market anymore, that's when the vultures swooped in, and they started worming their way into the upper echelons of all these game companies. And now now the rotten fruit of that is born. Like, you can see all of these companies making decisions not in the interest of making even halfway decent games, but to just wring as much shareholder value out of these companies as possible. And the people who suffer are the people who actually make games and understand the industry. And I hate to say it, but I really think stuff like Assassin's Creed 4 is a perfect example of that. Like, I think the mainstream game industry is at a point where the really big success stories you're going to see from now on are just remasters of things that have already existed. Because they're so much easier to make than actual new and unproven titles, even in proven franchises. Like, it's what the money people demand. So, I'm glad y'all are enjoying it. Those of you that are excited about it, I'm happy for you, but I think it's endemic of a much more sinister and depressing trend in the industry. Aero Fighters. We're gonna play Aero Fighters. Let's play Aero Fighters. No, I don't want to download an update package for my little text editor. Thanks. Talk about Rise of the Robots. No, I'd rather die. What's up, Arcane? Good to see you. How we doing? Good. I'm a little navel gazy tonight. I got on some tangents about the miserable, ever eroding state of the game industry. Can't really be avoided, unfortunately. Where am I going? Aero Fighters is right there. Let's do this. McO River. I don't know who that is. Before, I also just low-key wonder about the modern-day story getting so aggressively cut, because it's very much biting the exec's hand, parodying how evil AAA game development thing is. I don't even think it's that. Like, the real-world segments of Assassin's Creed were always maligned. I liked them. I think it's fair to say that a majority of players didn't. So, I think for anyone not intimately familiar with the series, which is going to be the money people making the decisions about what kind of direction to take a remake. I mean, they're going to ask ChatGPT, hey, did people like the real world segments of Assassin's Creed? And it's going to be like, no, absolutely not. And they're going to be like, okay, cut them. I like them too. I was building myself as that one guy who enjoyed the Desmond Miles story. I mean, I did. I certainly did. Let's play Ken. Japan. Not quite UN Squadron, not quite Strikers. I'm shooting stars. Am I shooting Shuriken? Does the Japanese pilot shoot Shuriken? He does, doesn't he? He does, doesn't he? Good, that does explode. Missiles! You gotta have missiles, chat. It's a slightly precious series. Now, okay, yeah, now he's shooting kunai, so, okay. I see how it is. I am okay with this. Have we not played this, chat? I don't actually remember playing this. That doesn't mean we haven't played it. It just means it slid off my extremely smooth brain. It's got a fair bit of slowdown, too. Even though not a ton of stuff is going on. When do we shoot ninjas? I'm hoping we get to that upgrade point. Sorry about the flashing. It's an old school shmup, chat. It's what they do. Aw, seriously? My hitbox is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Wow, Jesus, okay. I feel like I was kind of robbed on those. Also a dolphin pilot. Don't remember if he's in this one or two. Your mission, bomb the enemy's battleship. In America? I like where this game's head's at. Yes, sir! I'm stoked. Power-ups, rice balls, and sushi. Series is done for players 1 and 2 getting slightly different planes per country. I like the backdrop. That's pretty cool. I've always been fascinated by shmup enemies that just fly on the screen, turn around in front of you, and leave. Like, what were your mission parameters going into this one? Like, what did your CO tell you before taking off? Bomb people. Have we hit the extent of our power here? Have we hit the limits of what we can accomplish? I think we have. These are nuclear submarines, by the way. We're basically disarming the United States here. Which, I mean, is a net good for the world, if we're being honest. Also, I love these battleships that are just cooking, man. They are fast. If I ever make a shmup, I want to make sure that one of the bosses is like a turbo battleship. My tax dollars! Oh, that's a... wow, okay. Well, we're bombing this battleship, all right. Main designer of this indeed lead for Psycho, so this has genuine Striker's 1945 DNA. Definitely feels like that. Your mission: investigate the incident at the hidden base. Yes, sir. Oh, so now they're back in Europe. We're just investigating. Arcade games are so much better, of course, but I appreciate the support as a kid. It's fun. This one is solid. I mean, it looks good, it sounds good. It has all the most important shmup pieces in place. This does not look like investigation. We're gonna be investigating the wreckage of all these aircraft. And I mean, how am I supposed to investigate in peace with all these airplanes flying at me? They're making me nervous. It just doesn't work, chat. It just doesn't work. That's a lot of stuff. Oh shit. Okay, okay, okay. Made some poor decisions there, but actually managed to recover. Power-up system seems a bit anemic, yeah. You got your main gun, you got your missiles. They have a linear upgrade system. The bomb's pretty cool, but... what else is new? Oh dear. Ring. All right, that's it. I'm out of bombs. I bombed as hard as I could bomb. Lord in heaven. Okay. This one is tight. This is a really, really... That's a really tight fight. Fortunately, you get to continue in place, which is nice. But man, they've really got you up against the wall here. Can I request a sequel game? Nope. You know the rules. Your mission, destroy the secret weapons of the enemy. Oh, this one's the Middle East chat. Yes, sir. Is he gonna just slide in here at some point and be like, no, I refuse. But, wow. That guy had it fucking out for me. Oh my god. Okay, we're at the point in the game where it wants all your quarters. Fun's over, kid. Pay up. Wonder who wrote the PC dialogue is on point. Clearly some excellent localization there. Actually kind of hard to hit those. Wow, these are short stages. These are really short stages. Game's always been impossible to you. Like, Aero fighters or shmups in general? Wow, okay. This thing's pretty cool. Interesting that you can actually shoot down the yellow bullets. Shit. Yeah, your hitbox is way bigger than I would expect. Like, it's actually bigger than your sprite. Damn. I can't even really blame these enemies. Your mission, destroy the fleet that caused the invasion. We're in the Mediterranean now. Yes, sir. Yeah, some different weapons would be really nice. Ah, shit. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure how the continue system worked, because last time I continued on a boss, and it let me continue at the boss. This time I continued near the beginning of the stage and took me back to the beginning of the stage. So it seems to be a mixed continue system, maybe, depending on where you are. Love blowing up boats. Have a death bombing mechanic? Being too Toho brain? What, like, you mean like a graze system? Or like a counter system? This is just like a hover ship, man. This is like a personnel lander. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling it was gonna... Dude, that didn't even touch me! evil hoverboat. Whoa, whoa! Alright, I want this thing dead. Wow, bro. That didn't even do it. Okay, so I don't know how the continue system works. Maybe your first one is the only freebie, and then after that they make you start over, like continue from the start over the whole stage. Some games switch over to start of level continues once you're far enough. You don't got a 1cc the game, you got 1cc. Okay, yeah. So maybe the early stages, it was cool with that. All right. Subtracting 1 point from each shmup score for every pixel in your hitbox past the first. It's weird though. I mean, shmup fans back me up here. Like, it is weird adjusting to big chunky hitboxes after playing stuff where like your hitbox is like a pixel or like your cockpit or something. At least in Toho, after you die of a very, very, very tiny window, use a bomb which will save you from losing that life. I want to be really annoying right now. No, I won't. I won't do that because it is different. Never mind. Bullet hells are actually way easier for you. And then a bunch of classic teams from Madden. Who gives a shit? What's next? Oh boy, the Olympic Summer Games in Atlanta, 1996. Nintendo Power gears up for the Olympics this month, highlighting 2 Super NES titles that you can compete in the games in your own home. Get in training with the Olympic Summer Games with THQ, and Izzy's quest for the Olympic rings from US Gold. A lot of the modern shmups will have a glowing gem. The older shmups will just have a vague spot in the center. Yeah. Like Gradius? I think Gradius is basically your cockpit plus a little. And like one of the big advantages of the mini shield in Gradius 3 is it basically makes your ship the actual size of your hitbox. So it's much easier to track how to dodge things. Hitbox creeped over the page in this article. Easier to have bullet hells too. A lot of it is confidence and not letting yourself get overwhelmed. Meanwhile, non-bullet hells, like notice bullets sneaking up a little bit because it's seemingly simple. It doesn't have to fucking kill you over style. Like sweating to death in the humid swamp south in the summer. Oh, boot blacking. Oh, too soon. Too soon. Of all the events of the 96 Olympics, track and field, gymnastics, Centennial Park bombing, and of course, Corona. Being someone who is currently in a city is hosting the World Cup, I have fucking had it with sports for a while. I work at LAX. I have to drive past the SoFi Stadium to get to work. So, ask me what my commute tomorrow is going to be like. No other sporting event holds the magic of the Olympic Games. The tension, the drama, the glory. Every 4 years, people gather around televisions worldwide to witness history in the makings of the bad, whatever. It's pointless pablum about the Olympic Games, chat. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you give a shit about the Olympics, please. Drive by the SoFi Stadium, where they're going to be doing, I forget if it's the last game of 16 or one of the semifinals tomorrow. Yeah, so. And I'm going to be working at the place that all those international travelers filter through, so. Parents had tickets to the Olympics for the day that it happened and got sick and missed it. Brutal. That is absolutely brutal. Was there a terrorist Olympic attack? I don't get what. Oh yeah, the Atlanta Olympics. There was dude exploded a pipe bomb, in like the designated Olympic park or something. Killed a couple people. Give a shit about the fact that these people worked really hard to get there, but not the event itself. Yeah, I like the Olympics in principle. I think having a global competition for people to compete against the best of the best and in the spirit of sportsmanship and camaraderie is excellent. But like everything else in our late stage capitalist hellscape, it's been thoroughly corrupted by money people. And it's a massive exercise in corruption and advertising. And I hate it. I despise it. And I feel bad for Olympians because I'm pretty sure they just want to compete against other people. But yeah, it's a business. It's become a business, and therefore I don't respect it. Anymore, I'm concerned about how much they can hurt the host city. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with the Olympics here in LA in 2 years. A lot of people around here complain about it. I'm sure I'll be complaining about it, especially if I'm still working at LAX at the time. But I feel like LAX is one of the few cities in the world that has the money and the infrastructure to support it. And I mean, it's LA. We know what we're getting into. So. Killed 2, only one died to injury, another died from heart complications. Injured about a dozen. Hate how corrupt it is. Easy to have a weird relationship where I live with actual Olympians. Live near one of the big training facilities. Oh, cool. Didn't have John Candy, unlike the Winter Olympics. Rallycross, the big Colorado sport. Okay. Sport export. Yeah. I basically feel the same way about the World Cup. I think the World Cup is neat. I love that there is a international worldwide sport that countries come together and compete in. And I love that America always gets its ass kicked in it. But I hate FIFA. I think FIFA is a reprehensible organization. So. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Is that... Can we actually use that here, chat? Pikes Peak is one of the big rally stages, yeah. Says something that FIFA was too annoying and corrupt for even EA to put up with working. Yeah. Certainly does say something. So, so yeah, chat, I really don't care about playing Olympic Games. I really don't. Dashes and vaults and jumps and hurdles and javelin and discus and archery and skeet. Skeet, motherfuckers. Hate that say I'm fully capable of hating both player and game. I have the brain capacity for everything. I can multitask. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I can hate the player and the game at the same time. Remember last time we hosted, at the time, there was worry they closed because they couldn't get cities to host it. Cost them too much. Bradley said he'd bring the Olympics to Los Angeles and make money for the city doing it. And he did. And yeah, and capitalism. Yeah. Capitalism always takes over. It's unavoidable at this point. So. Not until we yank it out by its roots. And put its strongest proponents to the sword will be free of its curse. In Seattle, I like the happy vibes from the international visitors for some reason, though everyone was Australian for a day. I love, just quick aside, I love working at LAX because of all the people I meet. International travelers are lovely. Both the people the people who've come to the United States, going back to their home countries, and the Americans who've taken on the initiative to travel to other parts of the world. Everyone is great. Like, I really love the customers I work with. I have nostalgia for some of the Mario and Sonic Olympic video games, at least. Switch one is shockingly cool since Mario and Luigi devs doing a sports RPG with time travel. Favorite part of the World Cup is seeing the travelers every year learning cool stuff for themselves about wherever they... Oh, I know, yeah. I know. Like, who was it? Was it the Irish fans who drank Chicago dry this year? Or the... Who was it that was just, like, gobsmacked by barbecue down in Texas? Since Tokyo hosts the Olympics twice, some of the characters get yeeted the 60s Olympics. Some of the characters stuck in the present. Oh, that's neat. That's pretty neat. Who's going to remake Yoshi's Cookie without capitalism? We should be doubling down hopes of a major expansion of the Yoshi's Cookie universe. Oh, man. So yeah, this looks like a... I'm sorry, this looks like a really boring collection of minigames. Set in a medium that I really don't care about. Archery and skeet seem kind of nice, but that's fine. Okay, but this bullshit, though. This bullshit. All I know is one of the hotels where I work at, a group from Argentina visit, and they trashed the place and act like total pigs while they were here and not welcome back in the future. Well, I mean, there's going to be assholes anywhere you go. But it's always best not to focus on the worst examples of humanity. What is he? That's literally why they called him that, chat. The mascot for the 96 Olympic Games is named Izzy because they were like, everybody's gonna ask, what is he? And the people who made him don't even know. He's just some weird gormless thing. What's up, Empires? Too true. Too true. Worst examples of humanity. Why are you bringing us into this? Ah! You'll never guess who made this. Bullfrog. I love they're putting in maps of Atlanta showing where the events are taking place, and we know there's no way they're putting that in SNES cartridge. Yeah, exactly. Company that became Oddworld inhabitants? Well then. I mean, this game has kind of a bizarre aesthetic. It's not a bad fit for them. He may not have a gold medal, but Izzy, the symbol of the 1996 Olympics, is a mascot with a mission. In U.S. Gold's Izzy's quest for the Olympic rings. Izzy's out to save the Olympics from a host of unathletic supporters, and he'll stomp anything that gets in his way. That sounds pretty unsporting of him. This would flop and cause a lot of staff to reform to doing Oddworld. Interesting. Yeah, this is about as 90s as mascots get, really. Outside of, well, you know who. If you're trying to work out some Olympic spirit but prefer adventure games over track and field events, here's your game. Some bad sports have stolen the Olympic rings. Now only you and Izzy, the Olympic mascot, can save them. It just occurred to me. The Olympic rings are kind of like the Triforce. Like, they don't actually exist. They're not a thing that's like displayed behind glass that like you could hold or steal or something. They exist in the hearts of all who truly believe in the Olympics. I don't think they give you power though, and they probably don't turn you into pig people. Although now that I'm saying that out loud, or to get all 5 rings back, Izzy must travel through dangerous worlds searching for the crafty but silly enemies that now have them. Begins his quest in ancient Greece, home of the first Olympians. Next is he has a hot match against the pesky foes in the Lava Dome. Exit to Atlanta stage. Rocket level. This sounds kind of unhinged. If you get hit while carrying them, you drop them but don't lose a life. You know, AEG got a letter from the IOC to do something with their logo for L5R. I remember that. I remember that. I was playing when they had to change their logo, I think. Let's make sure I was correct and found an SCC filings archive site that hasn't been redesigned since like 1996. Carmen Sandiego can steal anything. She can steal my heart. Izzy takes getting shape very seriously. It's amazing what shapes he can morph into. In fact, if morphing were an Olympic sport, Izzy would be a gold medalist. Touches the red and yellow morphing stars, he gains new shapes and powers. He can be a baseball, he can be a hang glider, I think he can be a javelin. Yeah, a rocket. Hit it, Rockapella. Yeah, because I was playing in Gold and Diamond. I remember that was a big thing, actually, because they had to redesign the backs of cards, which meant the older printing, you just couldn't use the older printings anymore because it wasn't the same card backing. Kill it, put it out of its misery. Is it a bad sign, chat, if they put the stage select code right on the first page of their feature? I feel like they usually wait and put that in the classified information instead. Oh, that's it. Izzy gets, oh my god, Izzy gets 2 pages. They don't talk about his stages. They don't talk about anything. Is he gonna honor this request? Unfortunately, he is. That was a bad sign for the Conquer theme to start playing as soon as you start prepping to play this. Am I about to have a bad fur day? We played this one before, I think. I want to say we have. I mean, we played a lot of weird-ass mascot platformers at this point. A lot. A lot. Toy Story-esque soundtrack. Conquer theme is so good. I love it. It feels like a typical mascot theme, but weirdly sleazy. Is he dying? Is he playing with his ass? Let's just... Do you wonder just how bad the game they meant to make for Conquer was? Like, the one they released was the better option? Back for points and health. Recover these. Find eggs. Use these. Avoid immolated things. Album has a few songs by Rockapella and several songs by other groups. It's just generally a lot of fun. The Ring Guardians of the Greek village have hidden the ring to keep Izzy from taking it out of the world on his quest to reach the Olympic ring. So wait, are we stealing from them? Oh, what the hell? Jump is on Y? But why? I can't do this, chat. can't live like this. I think this is basically a one-button platformer. I hate that you still have to collect whatever comes out of the amphora. Oh dear God, I'm a hang glider now? Well, that was not much of anything. Oh, you have to smash the eggs. That seems kind of weird. Jump, yeah, jump on Y. It's bad, bad. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, dear God. I lost some money? Oh, I think I just... Oh, I went back. I fucked it, chat. But I found an extra egg. I hatched some more money. James Pond looking like he's seen better days. Man, I wish this was James Pond. He looks so mad. Like, why you mad, bro? Sonic looking kind of gory. Oh, thanks for that. Okay, so this is the way we're supposed to go. This goal, sorry we didn't do a better game for fucking Izzy. We'll try harder next time. Also, there is so much slowdown. Like, this game feels like it can barely handle what's going on. And I mean, I'm sorry, it's not that impressive. I'm a fencer now. Okay, that's kind of funny. You can't jump. There's no point to that. There is no point to being a fencer. And I was a fencer, so that's really sad to have to say. What is the bot's on? What is the what's the command for that? Oh. Okay. Maybe I have to. Why are there flags in here? What was the point of that? Why am I here? What's going on? Why can't I leave? I don't understand. I don't get it. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Chat? Whoa. Do y'all have any idea what I'm supposed to do here? Like, I'm stuck. I'm trapped. You can't go up this. I can't get up there. I can turn myself into a fencer. Make that last jump if you don't stop. I jumped too early. Oh, there's two jumps, chat. There are 2 jumps. There's the jump you have to use to attack enemies, and then there's a higher jump.
You're up for the bronze.
Is the Elder Challenge? Rocket Ride? Holy sweet Jesus. Oh my god. That heart. Does this end or what? It is actually kind of similar to the Sonic health system, where you get hit, you lose a bunch of medals, and then you need to recoup 3 to get back to where you were. Seriously though, is this ever gonna end? Does it just loop forever? Is this just where I live now? Oh, I think I might have... I did it. Oh my god, I actually got a ring. Well, actually, he just ran away from it. Now we're up for the gold. Didn't know the Sisyphean boulder roll was an Olympic sport. What event is this based on? I remember the Wii strap contestants of rockets and execute them by explosion level. It's Russian. The Onyx ring. I'm not. Okay, I'm done. I'm not doing another one of these. Theft number 1 complete. Yeah. Yeah, why do we need rings again? Is he pissing out of his nose? Yes. Yes. The only sane response to a game like this. Okay. Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run. They ranked the players. Oh my god. I don't think... Oh, this is trading strategy. This is any fun names? Big Magoo. Hang on. Wait. Bobby Baker, Sandy Falcon, Muscles McPhee, Curtis Swing, Rob Miller, Rebel Ruiz, Razor Sizemore, Billy Holden, Rocky Road, Stuart Ingram, Rocket O'Hara, Rock Ready, Denny Rails, I remember some of these names. Scorch McFadden, Vinny Clayton, Blazer Brown, Paul Comet, Jimmy Stealth, Frank Slater, Jet Salisbury, Lee Sanders, Turbo Taines, Roger Mendez. I like Turbo Taines. Muscles McPhee, Bull Higgins, Slick Fitz, Stevie Swift, Ken Griffey Jr. That sounds made up. Crush Faraza, Big Magoo, baby. Frank Liberty. Moray Ramirez, Viper Ramirez, Slash Cannon, Jack Booty. That's something. So this is, okay, from a purely academic standpoint, this is actually kind of interesting that in this game, like you have to deal with the whole trading economy of players. And they have an initial value, and then their performance during the season actually changes. Like, that's pretty cool. Aero 3 as much as Slash Cannon. Slash Cannon is a Mega Man boss. Favorite insane pro baseball player name is Chicken Wolf. Assuming they only had the rights to Ken Griffey Jr., no one else. Yeah, I guess. Oh my god. Oh, it's screaming Rob Liefeld art. As if we weren't already 90s enough right now. Dick Lovely. Iron Man Exo Manowar in heavy metal. Coming soon to your Game Boy from Acclaim. No thank you. I'll pass, thanks. I see Final Fantasy Adventure. Let's talk about the Epic Center, chat. We've made it. So this month we got Lufia Part 2, Dragonheart, Sword of Hope 2, of all things. The way all the feet cut off, yeah. Wii Epics. Good thing. Oh my god, they have nothing new to talk about. Oh my god, they literally have nothing new to talk about. So they're gonna talk about, like, Epics on the Game Boy. Which, I mean, cool and all, just kind of a bad sign, if you ask me. Good things sometimes come in small packages, such as the 2 Game Boy Adventures Dragonheart and Sword of Hope 2, featured in this month's episode. Oh, they're both Game Boy games. Okay. Epic gamers, it may seem as the small screen has been neglected over the years. Not so. Your Epic staff has put together a list of favorite Game Boy RPGs and adventures that every Epic fan should play. Some of these titles may not be available at all retailers. If you find them, perhaps in a treasure box or under a loose stone, they'll provide hours of adventure and fun. I don't think the used game market had taken off at this point yet. So if stores weren't carrying new boxed copies of something, you basically couldn't get them. I know exactly why, but also why does Iron Man's suit made of iron have defined ribs and veiny musculature? Because Rob Liefeld and all the poor souls he influenced could only draw people one way. Jacked as fuck. The top of everyone's list was Nintendo's Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I mean, I'm gonna step on some Pokemon fans' toes here. I think there's a strong argument to be made that Link's Awakening is just the best Game Boy game ever. Like, I'm very serious about that. I think it is very well the best game on the Game Boy, period. This adventure from Miyamoto brought the live action of previous Zelda games to Game Boy for the first time. I guess they're saying that in the sense that it's not like a turn-based experience, because they're about to talk about a bunch of turn-based ones. When did eBay become a thing? I remember getting Secret of Mana and Chrono Trigger on eBay. Let's find out. When did eBay start? eBay started as auction web in 1995. Interesting. I never even heard of auction web. The most purchased and sold items on the website were Beanie Babies, the most difficult toys to find in retail stores, accounting for 10% of all listings in 1997. Yeah, they changed their name from Auction Web to eBay in September of 1997. And then in 1998, they went public. So that's when they would have really, would have really blown up. Through the rest of the 90s, they noted eBay's dependence on the continued strength of the Beanie Baby market. That's crazy. Beanie Babies made their fortune. Are counting color games here or not? No. I'm talking about the original Game Boy. Because if you didn't have a Game Boy Color, you couldn't play Game Boy Color games. So. The second place game wasn't as clear cut, but Final Fantasy Legend, Final Fantasy Legend 2, and Final Fantasy Legend 3 all scored high on our unofficial poll. Final Fantasy Legend 2 got the highest marks. You know, before I replayed them, I would have said the same thing. But Final Fantasy Legend 2 was the hardest of the three for me to get through. Now. I do a red and blue. That's a bit of fuck shit that Link's Awakening dodges, so I think it's the best. And then the Beanie Baby bubble burst. Final Fantasy Adventure also ranked high on several lists. Making it more like Link's Awakening. Gargoyle's Quest from Capcom is an adventure that leans heavily towards the action side. Has a sprawling epic feel that appealed to many gamers. I do like the Gargoyle's Quest games. I never finished the Game Boy one. I beat the NES one on stream, didn't I, chat? And then I got... Man. I was so mad. I don't remember how many of you were around that night, but I played the Super Nintendo one, and it was going great. It was like absolutely smooth sailing through the whole game. And then right before the final boss, I reset the game to test something, and I lost like all my stuff. And I tried to beat the final boss without it, and I couldn't do it. And I was so mad. I was so fucking mad about that. Several other adventure games also made the grade, including Ultima Runes of Virtue. Second Runes of Virtue was released several years later. Sword of Hope 2 follows the blueprints of Kemco's original Sword of Hope, a game that combines RPG styles. Several editors praised a little-known game entitled Kingdom Crusade from Electro Brain. The strategy game offered 1 and 2 player modes and a compelling engine. Players moved fantasy units over the land as in a chess game. I remember playing this. Kingdom Crusade was kind of neat. Roland's Curse and Roland Curse 2 from American Sammy also showed up on the list. Both Roland titles fall into the adventure puzzle tradition of Final Fantasy Adventure. Die-hard strategy fans may even find Nobunaga's Ambition for Game Boy from Koei. In Japan, of course, the list of epic games for Game Boy is even longer, including last month's epic news feature, Pocket Monster. We hope this impressive list of epic games for the Game Boy might open a few eyes. Super NES has long been regarded as the king of epic games. The Game Boy can make a strong claim for the throne of the prince. For now, enjoy Dragonheart and Sword of Hope 2. Doesn't have if Great Greed is out yet. I don't think so. I feel like Great Greed was pretty late. I'm wrong. Great Greed was 1992. 93 in the US, but that was ages ago at this point. Yeah, I think we've talked about that prompt at the end of the game. We might have even talked about it when we looked at it ages ago. Pocket Monster, they mean Monster in My Pocket. That was an okay title for the 80s. Actually, Monster in My Pocket was actually really good. Shockingly good, since you happen to mention it. Oh, I'm sure those Pocket Monsters will never take off, Chad. I'm sure it's a pure flash in the pan, that one. Dragonheart. Oh god, oh god, this is based on the movie, isn't it? Oh lord. Oh lord. Yeah, no, I'm not doing Pokemon tonight. Nice try, but no. Oh boy. It didn't even occur to me, chat. Didn't even occur to me. This is gonna be that fuck-ass movie. What evil lurks in the heart of a dragon? Sir Bowen believed it was an evil so dark you could make him a good man. It could make a good man go bad. It happened to his pupil, Prince Enon. When Enon was slain in battle, his mother, Queen Aislinn, enlisted the help of a dragon named Draco. Draco gave up half his heart so that Enon would live. The dragon sacrifice did bring Enon back to life, but the prince returned as an evil, spiteful cur. In this Game Boy adaptation of the new movie Dragonheart from Acclaim, you guide Sir Bowen on a journey to uphold Knight's Code of Honor and avenge Enon's transformation by vanquishing all dragons from the land. Cool! Genocide, chat! This game is an 8-level first-person perspective quest? I hope this works too. With side view fighting and playing of interesting characters. Oh. Surely you can't make a bad dragon game. Funny you mentioned bad dragon. It's probably going to feel like that. Dragonheart, the one movie about a dragon slayer running a scam where he pretends to kill the same dragon over and over. Oh, that is funny. I like that. They don't seem to mention that at all here, unfortunately. Whoa. Maps. This header down here says a revolting woman. Oh, she's the leader of the revolt. How far are we going with this? Wow, okay, this is a pretty big game. So it's a dungeon crawler? That's weird. Let's give it a try. Swamp people. Swamp people. There we go. Dragonheart starts with a D. All right, let's do this. When they mentions mid-fight with the dragon, the protagonist realizes they make more money by letting Bowen pretend to kill him and runs a grift where the dragon pretends to terrorize town so he can wander in the slay. That's awesome. That's pretty funny. Oh, Acclaim. You know it's going to be good, chat. Developed by who? Exactly. I pull that back for y'all a bit. Yeah, that should be fine. Tale of a knight who slew a dragon and vanquished evil. I don't care about any of this. I want gameplay. Show me the game. Level 1, Dragon Trouble. This actually looks pretty good. You see a farmer. What have we here? A gallant knight trampling over my turnips. Pardon me, I didn't mean to spoil your crops. Don't worry, they ain't mine anyway. I just plant them and dig them up. Dang, dragons trouble these parts? Oh, this is the one where Sean Connery voices the dragons. Okay. Great nasty brute that lives on the other side of the forest. He helps himself to my sheep every so often. He sounds a bit too big for me. I remember a scene where a hero fires a ballista at Draco, catches the bolt, puts it on an arm, and goes down like, ah, you got me. Oh, what's that? Hang on. I collected something. I think this is the same guy. Logo dragon, all it did was steal sheep occasionally. I'd be reasonably happy with the arrangement. Certainly wouldn't do anything to aggravate it. I can't seem to get any... I can't get any closer to that house. Okay, this seems cool, but navigating in it is really difficult. It's really kind of hard to tell where you can go. I don't want to talk to this guy. What about inventory or map? Oh, I get a cursor. Oh, I picked up a map. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, can I just navigate by map here? See a monk, brave knight Sir Bowen, grace me with his presence. I'm honored, my lord. You know where I can find the dragon? I'm afraid not. Okay. What are you doing here? What's it to you? You wouldn't be as cheeky if I were you. Why not? Such a rusty old sword, it would be best not to make enemies. Hexwood Village. The blacksmiths. Looking for a dragon. What do we do when we find him? I'll stick my sword where it hurts. Put an end to his troublemaking. Take care then. Okay. Dragon Slayer, heard you were coming. The village has regular trouble with a dragon. Usually come for the sheep. Some people have disappeared as well. Do people ever return? Only one man has seen the dragon's cave and lived. His cottage is on the other side of the forest. Okay. My dear husband went to his death trying to rid us of that terrible creature. I shall avenge his death for you. Ugh. Greeting, my friend. You're no friend of mine. Well, fuck you too, buddy. Sir Bowen, Dragon Slayer at your service. I'm looking for a turnip to put in my soup. I think I can bring her a turnip. Oh, wow. This is pretty neat, honestly. So there's a house somewhere. I feel like it should just be between these trees. My only complaint is there's exactly one song. Yeah, and that song is getting old. Very, very, very old. Five turns there too, may I have one? I don't normally give them away. You look like a turnip-loving lad, so I'll give you my finest. So I guess I should take this back to the village. Now that I have a turnip. Getting a bit turnipy in here. That cottage lady. My name is Bo and I brought you a fresh juicy turnip. Nice young man you are. Thank you so much. How can I reward you? Oh no, this fine village. This fine village would be a lot finer if King Enon would leave it be. Enon's a real tyrant. If only someone could encourage the other village to overthrow him. That didn't really help so much. Moving their way through the forest. Forest dangerous, I wouldn't go in there with a sword like yours. Throw on my sword, blunt. Couldn't cut cheese with it. Oh, I already tried that one. So I guess that means I need a new sword. I don't like dragon slayers. You just watch yourself. Wow, racist. How's the work going? All horseshoes these days. No work for a craftsman like me. Can you make a sword as perfect as mine? That sword won't go through hot butter. I'll sharpen it for you for 2 silver pennies. I don't have any silver pennies. Huh. Hang on, let me see what Nintendo Power says about doing this. All right, we've got, okay, Nintendo Power is a step-by-step guide for getting through this. All right, I need to borrow some pennies from a guy in the forest. This guy over here. Greetings, Friar. Can you lend me some money? I have no love for money. Use it well, Sir Bowen. All right. Sharpen my sword. You 2 pennies if you sharpen it for me. Alright, sword upgraded. Now I can talk to the guy by here. Make our way through the forest. Come, I can show you the entrance, but I've never been through. Oh, okay. New area, chat. New area, same song. Guy. Dragon Slayer, what can I do for you? I hear you know where the dragon is. True, I don't want to send you to your death. You're not, old man, I know what I'm doing. But I thought, son, I'll only just escape with this in my life. Okay. That sound mad to me. Play it being mad. Show you the way to the caves. Don't say I didn't warn you. The graphics are pretty impressive in this. Dargan! Okay. I am the Dragon Slayer. I did it. Level 2 is Lord Felton. Okay, this is kind of cool. I gotta admit, this is kind of neat. The music is literally driving me insane. But that was pretty cool. I gotta admit, chat. I gotta admit, that was pretty neat. Fun game to play on a card trip, maybe while I was muted. Is this Castlevania 64 music? Because that's what it sounds like. Little no hope for anything good so much aside. So music aside, I was surprised at how polished the graphics were. Yeah, seriously. So it looks like there's 8 levels. And at the end, you fight King Enon. Ernon. But yeah, proper adventure game logic. Other than figuring out to borrow money from the monk, which, I don't know, maybe that's a scene from the movie or something. Like, that all seemed to flow pretty well. Nintendo Power is doing nothing to push this game's merits. It's really not. It's really just providing a guide to get through it. So, yeah. Sword of Hope 2. An angry red glow cleaves the night sky, a portent of doom to come. The young hero is called forth to defend his kingdom from an ancient evil resurrected. 5 years after the original Sword of Hope was released, Capcom of America brings forth Sword of Hope 2. Exciting new on-the-go adventure for the Game Boy. Much of Sword of Hope 2 is standard RPG fare, provides the right level of challenge for less experienced players or for players needing casual entertainment during an airport layover. Idiot baby game for children, chat. First-person perspective works well in the Game Boy format, and the look, open, and hit commands give you a good feeling of interaction with your surroundings. We do, however, have a bone to pick with the battle system. When facing a group of identical enemies, you can only target the entire group, not specific individuals. With the computer deciding the battle order, you'll often have weaker fighters striking stronger enemies or powerful blows being wasted on nearly defeated foes. Common problem in older RPGs. Especially ones that like to do group targeting of enemies. Coming up with the old Final Fantasies, yeah, I never liked that either. Build your strength in the air around the castle before you begin your quest in earnest. Your father, King Hennessy, has placed a spell on you that will bring you back to the castle if you're defeated, so you don't have to dip into your food supply yet. Once you advance a few experience levels, buy a copper sword, leather armor, and leather shield, and head for the ancient temple. So this is another dungeon crawling RPG. That's pretty cool. Ancient Temple Cave. You should look at and hit objects or walls repeatedly to uncover hidden bonuses and passages. You may not see an item or get a reaction on the first or even the second try. Ooh, that's tricky. That's pretty tricky if you have to do multiple interactions with things. There's a point-and-click adventure I played years ago, the original Black Mirror. Nothing to do with the TV series, chat. There was this old European point-and-click adventure series, like gothic horror series called Black Mirror. The first one is like the slowest slow burn point-and-click I've ever played in my life, but I honestly really liked it. The problem with it, though, is your interactions with the world were really ill-defined. Like, you could left-click on things, and you could right-click on things, but there wasn't any clear distinction over which did what. Like, if one was, like, examine and one was, like, use. And there were certain puzzles in the game where you seriously had to, like, A Sword of Hope. 2, even. The S Word of Hope. I appreciate they decided the princess shouldn't get stuck with healing magic. I do too. I do too. Unfortunately, it left the prince feeling pretty useless. Princess wasn't a heal bot instead of black mage style character? How unusually progressive. I know, Freegalet. Shocking, isn't it? Yes. Oh! Deep below the cold earth lies a mural of a dragon. Biting deep in the dragon's chest, the Sword of Hope is buried. It's actually like his neck, but whatever. 5 years have passed. Since what? Oh, since Theo sealed away the dragon darkness. Oh, I guess that happened in Sword of Hope 1. Since then, the kingdom has flourished. Until one day. A disturbing spectacle occurred at the site of an ancient temple, long protected by the Colin clan. Whoa, okay. You can really tell this was made by the Shadowgate people. Prophecy terrified the people. An arrow of red pierces the sky and darkness awakens from eternal sleep. What's going on? Motherfucker, I don't know. This is what I found, Father. A red bolt shot up from the old temple, causing a terrible uproar in the town. I'll investigate further. Before you leave, Theo, I'll cast a spell upon you. This will allow you to return to Ricard Castle, should any enemy prove too much for you. Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence, Chief. King Hennessy began talking. An ancient prophecy speaks of the red bolt. Go to the temple at once. Why would Theo slug his father? King Hennessy, Theo's father and king of the realm, sits upon his throne looking worried. It's a blop! Let us clash! Let us fight! Blop struck. Theo's HP is reduced by 1. Theo struck. Theo strikes Blop for 1 HP damage. Thrilling excitement. That's 2 hit points. Nothing like some fall off the bone ribs, a burger patty with cheese has been seasoned by someone who's pro in the kitchen at Country Time Yellow Lemonade. That sounds incredible, Empires. I am deeply envious. Theo's company receives 1 gold and 1 experience point. Fans of small number RPGs, this is your moment. It's the shaman's house. It's another blop. Let's auto this shit. The Dark Side Lord Arak, we have cookies and maidens. You've had a rough journey. What do you need? None of these things. What a terrible thing to do. Well, lot of random encounters in this. I wonder what the odds are of getting a random encounter on any of these screens, because it feels high. Theo gains a level. Theo learned motion. What do you suppose motion does? Theo's in front of the Ricard Castle. Theo, you've returned. Rest and recover, continue your quest. All wounds are completely healed. Perfect. It's a skeleton. We shall clash. I would like to magic. Motion of... Oh, that works on me. Theo chanted motion. But nothing happens. Ooh. This is auto this. I missed. Ooh. This guy's strong. This could be bad. 6? Theo used wheat. Oh wow. The auto mode will actually auto heal for you. Just imagining him just shoving an entire fistful of raw grain in his mouth. Be like, that's exactly what I needed. I think the skeleton is helping Theo free the skeleton inside him. Man, he just keeps whiffing. This is a nasty looking skeleton, to be fair. Oh, that wasn't much. Oh my god, I got him! 1 gold. Oh my god. Oh my god. I went through 3 healing items for 1 gold, chat. The tool shop. I didn't even left the castle. What the fuck is flee? Theo couldn't escape. Okay, I think maybe I've had enough of this one. I think, yeah, if I may be so bold here, I think there's a kernel of an interesting game here. Hiding beneath a thick layer of mechanical RPG bullshit. That was, not cool. That was not cool. And Nintendo Power is saying right here that once you advance a few experience levels, buy a copper sword, leather armor, and leather shield, and then head for the ancient temple. So this is an old school, like, super grind heavy RPG. Like, it sounds like I was just supposed to wander around between those 2 wood screens and fight blups and not skeletons until I could actually afford some fucking equipment. That was something. Alright, Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals. The struggle against the powerful Sinistral invasion culminates this month as the Epic Center covers the second half of Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals. Natsume's 20 meg role-playing sequel is crammed with puzzles and mazes. Last month we give you the tips and hints you need to explore the East Continent. The world map actually kind of reminds me of, well, kind of reminded me a bit of Dragon Warrior 2, or sorry, Dragon Quest 2's world map, but not quite so center heavy. Looks like there is a lot of puzzles in this. The Tower of Sacrifice looks like it has like, yeah, tile puzzles, spike mazes, teleport puzzles. Also apparently has capsule monsters. Capsule monsters grow larger as you feed them the weapons and armor that they crave, but their taste and food become expensive as they mature. One method for quickly finding a particular item for your finicky monsters is keep a list of the weapon or armor sold by each shop and warp your way through the menu. When you combine the epic reviews in volumes 84 and 85, you'll have information for 80% of the game. So they say. That's a pretty cool key art down here. Dragonheart Kingdom. Scandal at the Watergate. Oh my god. Jaffe the Glassmaker in Clemento. Town of tasty clams, maybe? Is indebted to you and willing to help in any way. Warp to Clemento and ask Jaffe to make a glass imitation of the ruby icon for the... Okay. This game actually sounds kind of complicated. At least in terms of puzzles and stuff. Oh, wow. My face is covering up the slot machine on Forfeit Island. Make a fortune or lose it all at Lufia's largest casino located on Forfeit Island. I'm on the Sinistral Master of Chaos land in the Northeast Tower near Furman Kingdom. Yeah, I never realized Lufia was such a puzzle-heavy game. Unless it's just a really long game in general and they're just singling out the puzzles. Underwater adventure. Mountain of No Return. Sounds like a nice place. Horsehead statues inside the Mountain of No Return. They snort a magical barrier. Okay. A dozen pots in the Divine Shrine. Dragon eggs. The Dread Dragon grants you a limited wish when you find 8 dragon eggs. I wonder what they mean by wish. So you can actually... So you can go underwater in this game. That's really cool. Reminds me of Final Fantasy Legend 3, where you have a relatively small world map, but you can explore it in 3 different eras and travel underwater. Not as dire as it sounds, as a lot of 1-star reviews. The amount is too high. I'll not be returning 1 star. Now I'm imagining like a Yelp style system for like an RPG world where adventurers rate the dungeons and like dark forests and scary peaks and stuff. Oh my god, it's strategy for Final Fantasy 3, what we now know as Final Fantasy 6. How about that? As of this issue, Final Fantasy 3 will have been on the Super NES Top 20 list for a full 18 months since its release. At a time when most other games would have been relegated to the back of the closet, Final Fantasy 3 is still as thrilling armchair adventures everywhere. Despite the fact that we printed a 3-part review in volumes 65, 66, and 67, we dedicate an entire player's guide to this game. It still generates thousands of gameplay calls and letters from new and repeat players. One of the first questions I always receive on a role-playing game is, where can I build my character's levels? This first one's kind of pointless. You really don't need to grind levels at the beginning of the game. You definitely don't need... You don't really need to grind levels in the World of Balance, except maybe at the very end of it. I didn't need to when I streamed it for you all, but I remember doing that in the past. And then if you're doing everything in the World of Ruin, you don't really need to grind you don't really need to grind levels in Final Fantasy 3, really. Miss world maps. I miss being able to go underwater. I know, I do too. I really do too. Wasn't the grind basically the standard when the game released? Oh, it was. It was. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not like evaluating this one way or another. If anything, I think it's a clear step in the right direction that you didn't need to grind so much in Final Fantasy 3. But yeah, I mean the de facto originator of the format, Dragon Quest. I mean, that game was all grinding basically. It was kind of indirect grinding while you wandered the map and tried to figure out what the hell to do. There is definitely level grinding in the original Final Fantasy. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, I don't think I ever ground out any levels in Final Fantasy 4 when we played that one. But I did do a lot of side stuff in it, which I'm sure helped. Really, it's kind of a weird balance between exploring and dealing with all the random encounters that come with exploring and seeking out additional content. The first time you play an RPG, if you are indeed playing it blind, and if you're seeking out every nook and cranny and every dungeon and wandering the world map and looking for stuff, I mean, you're gonna get the same effect of grinding levels as you would if you just stayed in one spot on the map and walked around in circles. So, and I think that's the way these games were designed. I think they were balanced around the idea that you weren't just gonna beeline from one plot beat to the next, that you'd spend some time exploring and as a result fight a bunch of battles that aren't on the essential path for the game to complete the game, and thus would get those necessary levels from doing things like that. I think modern JRPGs now are designed in a more streamlined way where you can go straight through the game. It's balanced so that you can beeline it. And if you go wandering around in search of bonus content and stuff, that's just like bonus strength for you that you may then need if you want to take on optional super bosses and stuff. So yeah, grinds in JRPGs for the most part are a matter of perspective. Now, I mean, we literally just played Sword of Hope 2, in which, yeah, you need to grind. There's just not enough space to explore without settling in for a grind there to get up to the levels you need to be to even survive the second enemy in the game. That's a good example of a bad grind. But the Final Fantasy games, for the most part, did it right. I feel like the Dragon Quest games kind of did too, or at the very least removed a lot of friction from grinding. Puzzles and perils. Oh, this is the tip about the cave to South Figaro. If you don't clean out the treasure chest the first time you go through there, and then come back as Celas, you get some much better stuff. A little note on the temporary ghost party member on the Phantom Train. Getting a discount at Figaro Castle using Edgar. A guide to the Imperial Banquet. I use this to get the best stuff. from the banquet. You can get some really crazy stuff from this if you actually know what you're doing. Totally okay with the grind going the way of the dodo. I know some grognards are salty about this. I prefer fewer, more challenging fights instead of having to kill your brain while going through a veritable army of chaff to progress. I think that's the prevailing sentiment. I think if you're gonna spend time doing a battle in general, people want it to be engaging in some way. If your battle system has a viable auto option, you may have dumbed it down too far. And while I don't necessarily dislike RPGs like that, in fact, sometimes I'm in the mood for that. Sometimes I am genuinely in the mood for a mindless gaming experience. Essentially the RPG equivalent of a clicker game, where I just mash auto against a bunch of things and the numbers go up to please my lizard brain. But in general, I think better RPGs have cut down on a lot of the chaff fights and focus on ones that will at least provide a token intellectual challenge to the player. And then also a guide is behind my head on saving Sid's life, which of course you should do because he's Sid. He's not perfect, but nobody is. So yeah. Oh God, there's even more. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah. If you return to the Serpent's Trench, it can be kind of a pain in the ass to get back to where you left your airship. So they give you a little guide on that. Oh man, I actually watched a video on this. This is one of the persistent mysteries of Final Fantasy III. During the course of your travels, you come across a wide variety of people, including a band of thieves. They'll talk about a dragon in the northern forest. But many players have been left wondering what they're referring to. There are two theories of the origin of these tales. The first suggests that the stories have to do with the Brachiosaurus in the stretch of forest north of the Veldt and west of Triangle Island. This is the same forest we cite as being a good place to build experience levels in the World of Ruin. One element that may have lent an air of Legend of the Brachiosaurus is that there are only enemies in the game that may leave an economizer behind after a battle. Economizer is busted as hell. Super, super, super good relic. The second theory is that the thieves are referring to the Zone Eater that lives on Triangle Island itself. It is within this ravenous beast that you find Gogo, one of the most elusive characters in the game. I've always assumed that it was a poor translation pointing the player in the direction of the Zone Eater. The Coral Quota in Ebbett's Rock is a big pain in the ass, and I hate it. It's nice that they have a guide to the Colosseum. I don't like the Colosseum. I don't like the way it works. It's annoying to me that it's basically an item trade, because you have to trade some really, really good stuff to get some better stuff. But I would prefer it just be a betting system instead, even though you could just cheese that. But it's nice that they tell you... They make some really good examples of what you can bet and what you can win. And they give you some basic tactics on how to get through Colosseum battles, since you have no control over your characters there. They also talk about getting Shadow back. And then tips on some of the harder enemies. Number 024. I think that's in the Magitech facility. That guy's not so bad. Cactrot. Yeah, the Atma weapon's pretty bad. At the very end of the World of Balance. Atma weapon was a roadblock for me when I played the game as a kid. The fact that you can bleed it of magic to kill it is pretty cool thematically. Mage Master at the top of the Fanatics Tower is another pain in the ass. Rexol. I think I had a pretty easy time with Rexol when I streamed this. But he can be a nasty one too. And then Haydn. I love this game, chat. I love this game. For anyone curious, for anyone who's been wondering, When I finally triumphantly return to nighttime streams as a whole, when I finally don't have to work nights anymore, we're gonna get back to playing RPGs. I am doing something different with my daytime streams because, frankly, it's a different audience. Most people who are here tonight can't make it during the day, or at least can't pay a lot of attention to what we're doing in the day. And I know that most of my established audience is RPG fans, so I don't want to stream something that people have been waiting ages for during the day when most folk can't even watch it, which is a big reason why I'm doing stuff like Satisfactory. Big reason why I went in a different direction with that. Oh, sweet Jesus. Why did I do that, chat? Why did I turn the page? Also because I can't stop yet. It is a horrible, crippling addiction I have to that game, so. I can't believe they gave this 2 features, chat. This of all fucking things. I had forgotten. I'm not sure I've ever seen a physical copy of this game. I don't remember ever seeing it in the stores. I had entirely forgotten it existed until we hit it in the magazine last month. And I mean, some of the screenshots look kind of neat. This, whatever this boss thing or something down here looks pretty badass. But, oh god, do I not want to play this game. I will, if y'all insist, for like a minute. Look at these fucking levels, too. Oh my god, it's a meat level. Won't be me. Do not, yeah. I would certainly appreciate not having to play this game again because it will make me nauseous. And I'm kind of enjoying, you know, not being nauseous tonight. Deep in the volcano. Oh, you assholes even rotated your text features. Mohawk's work is far from finished. Nothing but bad news awaits our little buddy in the next level where loads of enemies are dead set on its destruction. The ultimate enemy's name is Head Slot? Sure, man. Counselor's Corner. How do I get my ship back? These are questions about Lufia 1. Many adventurers lose their ships after the journey inland, but all coastal cities have ships for the taking. You can just take ships from the port cities? That's crazy. Where's the King of Sharon Castle? You need the Sharon Key. Breath of Fire 2. I'm just gonna skip. Oh, yeah, I don't want to know about how many endings there are in the game. Skip. We are gonna play Breath of Fire 2, chat. That's gonna be a high priority once I get back to night streaming. Link to the Past. How do I catch the runner? How to defeat the Helmasaur King, and how do I reach the Swamp Palace ladder? Not that complicated. And then Pocahontas. Who cares? Fast Facts or Madden 96, Earthworm Jim 2, and Defender slash... Who asked a question about Defender slash Joust? How do I get out of hyperspace? Defeat all the enemies. There's a special ending. No. How do I escape Joust Lava Hand? Rapidly flap. Cool, man. Oh, God. SNES Toy Story was bad enough, chat. I don't need a Game Boy Toy Story. I really don't. And it looks like a straight port of that rancid thing. Link to the Past still remains my favorite Zelda game even after all these years. Link to the Past seems to be the predominant choice for folks who came up with the early games in the series. I'm sticking my guns with Link's Awakening. I really do prefer Link's Awakening over Link to the Past. I like the mechanics in it. I like the dungeons. I like the aesthetic. I like everything about it. I don't think there's anything bad about Link to the Past. I just like Link's Awakening that much more. We hope you're up for a challenge, because helping Woody work his way through this world of perils and pitfalls is anything but child's play. Yeah, because it controls like ass and level design is worse. Most of the level maps as well as the icon locations are pretty much identical for both versions. This is a straight port. This is a straight port. And oh boy, I don't need that. Before rushing off to play with the toys in level 1, make sure you go to the options menu and boost your hat collection to 9. If you simply rush in, you'll only receive 5 cowboy hats, and you probably won't make it past the 3rd level. Nintendo Power not so subtly being like, yeah, this game's gonna beat your ass. And it's Toy Story, chat. Why were Disney games so rude? Like, some of them were excellent. Like, some, SNES Aladdin is top shelf. It is super, super good. I always thought Chippendale's Rescue Rangers on NES was a particularly well-balanced game. It had some interesting levels without being too particularly challenging. But then you got shit like Lion King, Toy Story. Like, what the fuck, man? Capcom really didn't know what they were doing, yeah. Man, I would have liked to live in a world where Disney and Capcom had a more permanent, closer alliance, and Capcom just handled like all their games. Imagine a Toy Story game in 1996 that played like you know, DuckTales or yeah, Aladdin or something. Oh, well. Can't win them all, I suppose. Wow, they even made a stage of, like, trying to catch up to the moving truck. I'll give them credit for the depth of content and making stages out of all this stuff. Do you think... Do you think in Disney's desperate push to just rehash every single property they have, do you think they'll remaster the original Toy Story? Because just looking at this screen capture down here, I am reminded of how dated the CG in Toy Story is, and it's not a bad thing. Like, I think the early CG does actually work for Toy Story. But I could totally see them just remastering and re-releasing that movie. Just running the whole thing through like a fucking AI filter or something. We made... Jesus! The arena this month is just a wall of text. The battle zone is Super Mario RPG. What is your best time on the Moleville minecart ride? Huh. Live action Toy Story. Gag me with a spoon. God. I hate these live action remakes they're doing, chat. Just the most intellectually, creatively bankrupt things a company like Disney could be doing. Like, tell me you value literally nothing in life besides money without saying it out loud. Frank Thomas, Big Hurt Baseball, Kirby's Block Ball, High Score Challenge, Twisted Challenges. The arena is full of top scores and fast times. You ever made up your own challenge for fun? No prizes. You're a hardcore gamer. Challenge yourself. Reach the end of Gorilla Glacier in Donkey Kong Country without getting hit once. Defeat a computer opponent in the Killer Instinct tournament mode without using kick. Defeat all 8 opponents in Teller Boxer. Oop! Virtual Boy note, chat. Not ever being knocked down. Build your character levels to 10 in Final Fantasy 3 or Chrono Trigger without using a tonic. That actually doesn't sound that hard. Bunch of people got 100% scores in Yoshi's Island, World 3, World 5, World 6. One person bothered to submit a high score for Defender. Lowest times for 100% Donkey Kong Land. Lowest times for 100% Episode 2 of Doom. 2 minutes and 25 seconds. And fully a minute and a half of that was just the level loading. Excuse me. Oh, getting late, chat. A lot of competitors for Super Mario Kart. Alright, we made it to now playing. Let's just kind of scoot through this. Feel free to request something that we haven't already done tonight or didn't get any coverage in the magazine if you really want. But I gotta be honest, I'm not expecting there to be anything particularly worthwhile in here. Brainies from Titus. Good challenge for puzzle fans, good value, limited passwords, uneven learning curve, graphics. One of their negatives is just graphics and sound. Like, they just hate the way it looks and sounds. Dragonheart from McLean. Good graphics, good story, good music based on the movie. Negatives, simple fighting engine, not much replay value. The game can be completed in several hours or less. Awkward password entry system. I'm sorry. At the ripe old age of 43 with a family and a job and responsibilities, a game that can be completed in several hours is a major plus for me. Okay? Lamborghini American Challenge. Some interesting variety and play options, but the graphics don't compare to today's standard for 16-bit games. I mean, I kind of see that from the screenshots here. This one up here, the desert one in particular, looks really featureless. Olympic Summer Games from Black Pearl. Oh man, this is a really thin month, chat. Yeah, use 6 characters of password. What's so awkward about that? Good graphics, Olympic records, alternating player option. Only 10 events. Controls can be difficult to master. Records are difficult to set. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't try that shit. Prehistoric Man. Fun graphic. We played Prehistoric Man before. I think it just got delayed. Floaty play control. Poor screen contrast in some areas. Sword of Hope 2. Solid RPG action. No Super Game Boy enhancements, chat. For shame. For shame. And lots of mapping. I mean, again, that could be a plus for certain folks. And then Titus the Fox to Marrakesh and back? Interesting. This was first released in North America back in 1993, and they're re-releasing it for some reason. Big fun graphics, 2-player options, repetitious, not overly challenging. The power meter rankings are pretty baseline. Actually, looking at this, Dragonheart and Sword of Hope scored way high. Well, I mean, there's like barely anything to compare them to, but they scored way higher than everything else. And Sword of Hope 2 actually got some editors picks, so that's cool. But yeah, pretty thin. Pretty thin. They still have a color reserve for the Virtual Boy on the chart, even though there's never going to be another Virtual Boy game released ever again. All right, chat, that's it. We have made it through the request portion of the magazine. Let's glide through oh boy. Oh boy. Let's get hype and pack watch. Donkey Kong Country, I don't give a shit. It's Kirby Superstar, chat. Everyone's favorite cream puff is finally back. All right. It's fine. We'll struggle through them filleting Donkey Kong Country 3, but only because Kirby's here. Bet you can't play just 2. That's what Nintendo's betting on, the 3rd Donkey Kong Country game for the Super NES. Dixie Kong becomes a star along with a new Kong sidekick who's barely out of diapers. Game will feature the same mix of extraordinary ACM graphics. Early shots of DKC3 reveal underwater areas, snowy stage with a snowman, and a hollowed out giant tree stage where you're pursued by a relentless crosscut saw. Find a baby elephant. More stuff on the map screens, like a hovercraft. The plot involves Dixie's search for Diddy and Donkey, who've gotten lost during a vacation. A bunch of Kremlings led by a mysterious reptile named Chaos seems to be at fault. What else do DK fans expect? Boss characters whose eyes follow you around the screen for one thing. New and old characters, vehicles, great sound, stunning scenes. What more can you ask for? Better than DKC 2, I hope. How do y'all feel about DKC 3? I know most people around here preferred 2 to 1. I definitely didn't. Where does 3 fall on the great scale of Donkey Kongings? Never played it. Okay. Not exactly a ring endorsement. Ran it once, recalled being fine. Hated 3. Wow. That's a strong word. Let me use some strong words too. I fucking love Kirby Superstar, chat. There are, I mean, okay. There are a lot of really good Kirby games. And I think probably the best Kirby game is probably Forgotten Land. Forgotten Land is exceptionally good. It's definitely the best Kirby game to date. I also really like Kirby's Canvas Curse. That was really, really solid. But for me personally, Kirby Superstar is always gonna be my favorite. I love this game to death. And when it shows up in the magazine, which might be next month even, I'm gonna play all the way through it. I'm just gonna do it. I don't think I can stop myself from doing it. I'm gonna 100% this game. I've done it dozens of times. I'm gonna do it again. I love it. Late enough release, we didn't have to pretend it looked good. Moved on from SNES before DKC 3 came out. American Kirby is Kirby. I fucking love Canvas Curse, dude. Canvas Curse was one of the highlights of the Nintendo DS for me. Canvas Curse is amazing. I think my favorite Kirby games, Superstar is always gonna be my favorite. A down up, A down up. Forgotten Land, I would argue, is the best Kirby game, even if it's not my favorite. I love Canvas Curse. I love Amazing Mirror. I love that they made a pseudo Metroidvania Kirby using his copy powers. I thought that was really creative. I really like Adventure on NES. It's hard. It's deceptively hard. But I do have fond memories of that one, since I've played a lot of it at this point. Alright, last month, Packwatch introduced you to a new Kirby game for the Super NES for Nintendo. Kirby Super Deluxe has now been called Kirby Superstar, and the game is scheduled for its North American release this September. Damn! Hopefully we'll get a preview of it that I can play off of in July or August. Now that we've had a chance to explore a bit, we want to share what we found. First off, we found an extra bonus game. Bringing Kirby's grand total to 9 games in one pack. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Yeah, I guess that's right. Did you have any thoughts on the Carby? Carby? Yes, I love Carby. I love Kirby Delac. I loved Kirby like sucking in giant things like the huge traffic cones and the fans and stuff. I thought they made for some really creative gameplay and nice little breaks from the standard running around. 5 adventure-type games and 4 specialty activity games. The adventures fall into traditional Kirby styles of action. You inhale enemies, adopt their abilities, find items, fly, swim, float, and gobble everything in sight. Biggest innovation is the inclusion of Helper, a little fellow who can use the abilities that Kirby acquires from other characters. I mean, it's less Helper and more like a friendly enemy. You basically generate friendly enemies. Second player can join at any time during the adventure, which is really cool. I've never actually played Kirby Superstar multiplayer. Have I? I don't think I have, but it's a really nice consideration. Here's a rundown of the game. Spring Breeze, an action game, includes basic Kirby actions and familiar areas such as the Whispering Woods. We'll talk about all this when we actually play it. Spring Breeze is basically original Kirby's Dream Land reimagined. Gourmet Race pits Kirby against King DDD in a race to gobble up as much food as possible. 3 individual courses. Dynablade, Kirby's adventure mission is to stop Dyna from destroying all the crops. Dynablade has a very rudimentary world map, which I think is cool. Great Cave Offensive is maybe my favorite part. Treasure hunt in underground worlds. How many treasures are there to find? I want to say 60, but that sounds really high. Yeah, I love the Great Cave Offensive. Revenge of Meta Knight thrust Kirby into a desperate struggle to survive the futuristic warship Halberd. Milky Way Wish is a bonus adventure while the arena combines every type of Kirby combat imaginable. Okay, no. Milky Way Wishes is like the main game. Milky Way Wishes is the most fleshed out of any of the game modes. And it also takes a really unique approach to Kirby's copy abilities that we'll talk about when we play it. And then the arena is a boss rush. Kerber truck. Samurai Kirby is a speed reaction game. Mega Time Punch is a contest of strength. Kirby fans will definitely get their fill of the great round pink one this fall. God knows. Can't wait. Donkey Kong Land 2 Diddy's Kong Quest. I really don't care. Worms, chat. SNES Worms. Worms continue to march or crawl across the face of Europe with the introduction of Worms for the Super NES from Ocean. Packwatch's continued coverage of games around the globe. We turn a puzzling battle game featuring war-happy annelids. Use weapons of all sorts in your effort to wipe out up to 3 other Worm Commando teams. Some compare worms to lemmings, possibly because they share such attributes as a lack of sense of self-preservation. The Game Boy version of Worms scored a whopping 91% by the Nintendo Magazine System in the UK. Unfortunately, Ocean of America has no current plans to begin a Worms campaign on this side of the pond. We might have to go out of our way to give this one a try, chat, since we know it exists. And I do love Worms. Xanax, the Revolution, not the pill. The alien empire of the Killen has held Earth and its human inhabitants in slavery for 400 years. And now an alien fleet has been stolen by a band of rebel humans, and the revolution's on its way. Advanced Productions will release this, a second war strategy game, this summer. Following the tracks of War 2410, Xanax the Revolution puts you in command of a small star fleet somewhere out in the Killen-occupied space. You have to work your way through the stars back to Earth, building a strong armada of ships at space stations and planets along the way. The comic book graphics of War 2014 have been replaced by digitized shots of the 3D models of 16 types of starship. Expect more complexity in the 16 levels. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize there was a sci-fi strategy game on the SNES. Maybe it didn't actually come out, but the fact they even tried is pretty cool. And then Battlezone and Super Breakout. We know what these are. They're on the way. All right, what do we got here? I'm just gonna skim this for additional game releases. Iron Man Exo Manowar and Heavy Metal may have the dubious distinction of being the final Game Boy title published by Acclaim Entertainment. Hardcore gamers will be relying on those classic Lolo games once they get their hands on the latest Game Boy project from Nintendo, tentatively entitled Digger. I wonder if this actually came out. Targeting October for that one. Battle Races. A race game for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's interesting. How does a Super Nintendo fare on the vector graphics of Battlezone? We'll have to see if and when it comes out. That is a good question. Tetris Attack. Maui's Demise. Disney Interactive reports that Maui Mallard has been renamed Mojo Rising. Disney Interactive hasn't officially commented on the release of the Super NES version of the game, which Power checked out about 6 months ago. Womp womp. Urban Strike on Game Boy. I bet that's awful. And then Williams. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, NBA Hang Time. Arcade Classics. So on and so forth. They're still listing 2 Virtual Boy games as coming out in the summer. Bound High and Dragon Hopper. One of those did eventually come out in the summer of 2026. only 30 years too late. Is that Mole Mania? I'm not sure. I am not sure. Not familiar enough to say. Oh, they put the Players Poll contest at the very end. Play ball with Ken Griffey Jr. Meet him. Beat him in his own game. Go down on the field. Not him. The field. Visit Nintendo America's HQ and win a Louisville Slugger. 34 inches of... You know what? Maybe we should just move on. To the end! We've made it, chat. Coming next issue, Volume 86, July 1996, E3 report. That has a lot of potential, chat. There might be a lot of stuff to request in that. And yes, Turok. Turok is on the way. Unfortunately, I can't play Turok. I don't have a physical copy of it yet. But we can talk about it. I can wax poetic about my days with Turok. I actually beat that game. I actually beat that game legit. A feat I'm rather proud of in retrospect, because holy shit, that game is hard. Tetris Attack and Bassmasters Classic Pro Edition. As if you couldn't get any more complex than that, so. You get the feeling that 9% of the hype of a Louisville Slugger is in branding alone? Yes. Just the fact that you have something called a slugger. Sounds threatening, chat. Because I think we can also agree most people that have baseball bats aren't using them to hit baseballs. It's not their intended method of use for most people, I think. So. Alright, chat, we made it. We did it. We have arrived at the end of the evening. Part of me is tempted to just play a little bit of Worms right now. The other part of me is dog-ass tired because I have been streaming for about 8 hours today, which is like the majority of the time I've been awake. So I think I could use some sleep. I think that would be a good thing for me. So I'm going to call it here. No stream tomorrow. No stream in the morning. No stream in the evening. I have chores to do tomorrow morning, and I have work to do tomorrow night. But I will be back Saturday morning with more Satisfactory and the raising of our great aluminum facility. And then we will continue that on Sunday. Next week, next Wednesday, we'll do some kind of variety thing. I'm thinking maybe we'll do a wheel. Keep an eye out tomorrow or Saturday. I may open up submissions for some kind of weird old wheel to do next Wednesday. And then we will start July of 1996 in Nintendo Power next week, which is perfect. We're actually managing to keep pace with the magazine across the months. We are exactly 30 years hence from these magazines' releases, and I'm really enjoying that. So let's go find somebody to raid, shall we? Or let's not, because nobody I know is up right now. So I need to find some daytime streamers to raid. I need to find some other Satisfactory streamers. I think that would be wise. So I know how most of what's coming out of this part of 1996 is crap. You got it. You got it. All right, gang. Anyway, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for joining me for the end of this auspicious issue. It's kind of a nothing issue, really. We played some neat stuff tonight. I was actually really quite pleased with surprisingly pleased with Dragonheart, and sort of hope 2 would be a good game, except for the balance of their random battles. That was not the best, but whatever. Anyway, I had a good time tonight. Hopefully you had a good time tonight, and hopefully I will see you Saturday morning as we continue our grand adventures in Satisfactory. But until then, as always, y'all take care. Bye, everybody.